The relentless sun beat down on a lone figure sprawled on the unforgiving sand. Hercules, son of Zeus, coughed, a dry rasp escaping his parched throat. His once pristine lion pelt lay tattered beside him, offering scant protection from the searing heat. Hercules pondered what he saw in front of him. I can barely see the barrier curtain in front of me. I feel it is somehow bound to the bracelet on my arm, this foreign object I am reluctant to remove. I know I need to find answers before attempting to cross the barrier curtain. He scanned the desolate landscape. Jagged cliffs, their peaks shimmering in the haze, rose from the endless dunes. No sign of life, no oasis, only the relentless whisper of the wind around him. Bitter taste filled his mouth, the taste of exile. Struggling to his feet, a wave of dizziness washed over him. His Olympian strength remained, but hunger gnawed at his gut and thirst clouded his vision. He stumbled forward, squinting into the harsh light, searching for any glimmer of hope in this barren wasteland. Hercules thought, where is Zeus in all this? Has he abandoned me? This is a test. A cruel one, but a test nonetheless. I am Hercules. I will not be broken. Weakness is a luxury I cannot afford now. I will find the strength. I will find water, and with it I will regain my power. This exile may have stripped me of my comforts, but it will not break me. I am Hercules, son of Zeus, and I will survive. Suddenly, a flicker of movement caught his eye. A lone vulture, circling lazily above a distant crevice between the cliffs. Hope, faint but persistent, flickered in his chest. Vultures gather where there is water. With a renewed determination, Hercules set off towards the crevice, the unforgiving Exiled Lands stretching before him like a cruel test of his legendary will. I see smoke ahead. It could be danger, but I will have to take some risks. It could be civilization, and they might have water. On inspection, it seems to be a destroyed caravan of some sort. Maybe slavery, maybe militia. I do not know. There are bodies, and this place stinks of death. I must continue through. I have no time to bury the dead, or I will perish myself here. His legs felt like lead, his breath shallow and ragged. The air tasted like dust and regret. Where was Zeus in all this? Was this some twisted test, a cruel amusement for the Olympians? Hercules, the mighty son of a god, reduced to a scavenger, a beggar for a single drop of water. These ruins are old, very old. I can sense they have been in the sand for millennia. They seem to hold nothing of value to my situation. I must press on and have courage. But a defiant spark ignited within him. No, this wasn't the end. He was Hercules. He faced down lions. He cleaned out stables. He held the sky itself. He wouldn't be broken by a little sand and sun. He pushed on, the image of the vulture circling above acting as a beacon. Perhaps there was water, a hidden spring tucked away in the crevice ahead. Perhaps there was even shelter, a place to rest his weary bones and plan his next move. The crevice seemed to mock him, a jagged scar on the face of the cliff, growing no closer. Doubt gnawed at him. Was this a fool's errand? Was the vulture leading him to a mirage? A cruel joke in the unforgiving desert? No, he wouldn't allow himself to think that way. He wouldn't give up. He had to find water. He had to survive. I am baking in this heat. I must restore my true self and true form, regaining my gifts. This harsh land has stripped me of much, but I know my strength, endurance and constitution will be returned soon enough. I must keep pushing ahead. The trek was a brutal slog. The once proud hero of Olympus found himself reduced to a suffering across the burning sand. The remnants of a forgotten road snaked through the dunes, a testament to a lost civilization, offering a path but no solace. The cracked and broken stones offered little relief from the scorching heat that radiated from the ground. With each laboured step, the mirage shimmered before him, a cruel oasis that receded with every approach. His vision blurred, sweat stinging his eyes. His once mighty muscles screamed in protest, unused to such a sustained, agonizing effort. Yet he pressed on, fueled by a primal urge to survive. What were these wastelands? Finally, the crevice in the distance began to take shape. The jagged scar on the cliff face morphed into a colossal maw, the sun casting deep shadows that hinted at cool recesses hidden within. The vultures were still circling, closer now, their forms a stark contrast on the bleached canvas of the desert. Hope, a fragile flame, flickered within Hercules. He quickened his pace, the promise of water propelling him forward. As he drew closer, the roar of the wind whistling through the crevice reached his ears, carrying the faint scent of damp earth and a hint of something mossy. Could it truly be? I can sense life ahead. I can see trees and shrubs. I see squat figures on the horizon. I must be careful. I'm not ready to engage in combat. I must find some basic shelter to rest and recuperate. Even a few minutes in the shade to regain my breath will aid me. I must gather my thoughts and focus. I must trust my inner belief. I will survive. I will prosper. Yes, this is a good spot. I will stay positive and not get ahead of myself. One step at a time. Patience is needed, less haste, more speed. I will recuperate here and let anyone or anything that has seen me pass on by. With a surge of renewed determination, Hercules pushed himself upright, the promise of water outweighing the throbbing pain in his muscles. He stumbled towards the narrow path, its entrance swallowed by the cool shadows of the crevice. The air grew noticeably cooler, a relief that sent shivers down his sun-baked skin. The sound of the wind lessened, replaced by a damp, earthy silence that felt heavy with anticipation. I am getting close. I can see nature is prosperous here. It also means I am unlikely to be alone for much longer. He pressed on, following the path as it wound deeper into the rocky embrace of the mountain. The jagged peaks that once seemed distant now loomed overhead, casting long dramatic shadows across the path. His parched throat ached, his vision swimming with exhaustion. But then, a sound pierced the silence, a symphony unlike anything he'd encountered in the unforgiving desert. Birdsong, a melody of chirps and whistles filled the air. And then something else. A guttural growl that sent a primal thrill down his spine. the sound of a predator, a reminder that even this haven had its dangers. Emerging from the darkness of the crevice, the shadows fell behind him. Hercules blinked in the sudden sunlight. Before him stretched a sight that stole the breath from his lungs. An oasis, nestled among the towering peaks, shimmered with emerald and blue-green life. Lush trees, their leaves heavy with moisture, swayed gently in the breeze. In the distance, a crystal-clear pool of water reflected the azure sky, its surface broken only by the playful flittering of unseen insects. The sound of rushing water reached his ears, a sweet melody that promised salvation, and upon looking again, the pool extended, promising a river of water. A primal urge, stronger than even his exhaustion, surged through him. He had to reach that water. He had to bathe his parched body and quench his bursting thirst. Only then could he truly begin to recover, to regain the strength of Hercules, the mighty son of Zeus. With a determined roar that echoed through the peaceful valley, Hercules charged towards the oasis, the promise of water and renewal pulling him forward. He cautiously stepped towards the oasis, the promise of water and fresh air and rejuvenation, but the symphony of birdsong was abruptly cut short. A guttural growl, low and menacing, echoed from beyond the thicket of ferns. Hercules froze. His senses were now on high alert. Through the dense foliage and past the trees, he could see hulking figures, barely human, their bodies scarred and misshapen, their eyes glowing with a feral hunger, fixated on finding scavengers, spotting fresh prey. His Olympian senses, though dulled, still picked up on the splashing of creatures in the water's edge. Were they alligators? Were they crocodiles? Or some hybrid from this exiled landscape? Hercules could see their eyes gleaming with reptilian cunning. They lurked among the reeds, waiting. The oasis, a haven for the desperate, was also a breeding ground for danger. I am not alone. There is evil here. Evil I am willing to purge without hesitation. I am at the water's edge, but I dare not enter, yet in fear of being seen and caught. I must enter at twilight, for it is the sunset and moonrise that will have my powers reborn. I must have the sunrise on my back and watch it fill the day with light, for the ritual to be complete. I can sense movement of different creatures all around, some primal, some demonic and of dark creation. These were no ordinary men. Years of hardship in the Exiled Lands had twisted them into something monstrous. Hercules knew a frontal assault in his weakened state wouldn't be wise. He needed water, but he also needed to avoid a fight until his strength returned. With a practiced agility surprising for his condition, he melted back into the shadows of the crevice and the mountainous entrance. He would have to be a ghost, a silent predator in his own right, until he could reclaim his power. Using the crevice as his base, he spent the next few hours observing his unwelcome companions. Hunger gnawed at him, but the thought of facing either the brutes or the alligators or crocodiles in his weakened state was a sobering reminder of his predicament. As the day wore on, the desert wind shifted, carrying the scent of cooking meat. The brutes, it seemed, weren't the only inhabitants of the oasis. Hercules, fueled by both hunger and a sliver of small hope, decided to investigate. He moved with the silent grace of a panther, using the shadows and foliage as his cloak. He wouldn't engage in battle, not yet. He needed to find out who else shared this precarious paradise. I must observe more. I feel stronger now. I also must be careful, for there are other survivors of this land, and they are likely to be hostile. Such is the hardship of this exiled land. I will creep along the shore and explore an area that is closer to the water without any beasts, but when the time comes, I can enter without any disturbance. I will scout and avoid the crocodiles and alligators, whatever their exiled land name is. These deformed demon men walk this land, and I must avoid their stare, for other eyes may be using them. So far this land is barren, some resource it, but it offers me nothing yet. This view of the water is inviting and calming though. Sun setting fills me with excitement that I will soon be reborn to this world. A primal urge, stronger than even his exhaustion, surged through him. He had to reach that water. He had to bathe his parched body and quench his bursting thirst. Only then could he truly begin to recover to Olympian strength. I am reborn. I no longer feel hunger. I no longer feel thirst. I have greater strength, although in these lands I feel that even this strength will be tested. Nothing can harm me as long as I follow the way. I have survived the first part of this battle, and now I must find out how to win this war. Whoever placed me here must answer my questions, and if not, they will feel my wrath. As he emerged from the water, a renewed Hercules stood before the oasis. His muscles felt invigorated, his mind was clear. The weakness that had plagued him was gone, replaced by the potent power of a god. He raised his head to the sky, a deep primal roar echoed through the valley. This desert, these dangers were no match for him. He was Hercules, son of Zeus, and he would not be broken. With newfound determination and a thirst for answers, he turned his gaze towards the flickering fire in the distance. The Exiled Lands held his exile, but also the reason for it. He would find out why he was here, what challenges awaited him, and ultimately, how he would escape this unforgiving prison. This was not the end, but a new beginning. His exile may have stripped him of his comforts, but it would not diminish his strength, his will, or his purpose. He was a god, and he would find his way home. The desert may have tested him, but Hercules, son of Zeus, has emerged stronger. Now with renewed purpose, he ventures into the Exiled Lands, seeking answers and facing challenges unlike any he's encountered before. Will he uncover the truth behind his exile? What dangers await him in the unforgiving realm? Join us on this epic adventure as Hercules unravels the mysteries of the Exiled Lands. We hope you enjoyed this introduction to Hercules' journey. If you did, and you want to join him on his quest to solve the riddles of the Exiled Lands, there are a few things that you can do. First, hit that like button to let us know you enjoyed the video. Second, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a single thrilling chapter of Hercules' adventure. And finally, share this video with your friends, the more the merrier, as they say.